All right. Hi, Calling Podcast, episode 7. Today I got Bubba Malbrough with me, bare knuckle boxer, QC in the plant when I met him, and a business owner. What's up, Bubba? How's it going, brother?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing fantastic, man. Waking up, working nights, just trying to get through this thing. I appreciate your time coming on here and helping me out, man.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of bare knuckle boxing, the last one that I got ready for, I was working night shift in California. This was in
Uh huh.
2019. Night shift in California, 13 hours a night, training 2 hours after work and 2 hours before work. And I did that for almost the entire training camp, so I know how it is.
Yeah, hey, you brother. You gotta get it done no matter what, huh?
That's right.
All right, man. Well, you're on a High Calling podcast, man. I'm just trying to hear people's stories so we could, inspire some people out there and, kind of change their mindset. And I know you're big on that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds good. So who is Brandon Malbrough?
So I'm a father first and foremost. I love my children to death. I got four beautiful kids of my own, two great, beautiful stepchildren, business owner, kind of got into business ownership, over the past 3 years, 4 years. That's when I really kicked this one off, but officially 3 years ago. I'm just a average Joe, man, trying to leave the biggest footprint on this earth that I can before I leave it.
Average Joe trying to make it, huh?
That's it, brother.
Heck yeah, man. All right. What's a good story, funny story about your life and so far on your journey?
So I told this story. I went and ate at a local Mexican restaurant here, El Sombrero, and the very first one that I recall was built in Brookhaven. And
The
growing
f-
up, I was young when it was built, and
the
I
first
was
what?
El Sombrero,
Okay,
the Mexican restaurant. So it's not
gotcha.
there no more. I was talking to, they're rebuilding it now. But I was talking to him, and his dad was the one who actually built it. The guy that I was talking to. I said, "Let me tell you a funny story about how I grew up in poverty. So let me tell you a funny story about how my mindset was growing up. I was always told we could never eat at the Mexican restaurant because we couldn't afford it. So I thought you had to be like super rich to go eat at the damn Mexican restaurant. And I think it was built when I was like in the fifth or sixth grade, maybe seventh. I was younger. And so the first time I ate at this restaurant, it was in the 12th grade. And I remember asking my buddy, because all the seniors were going to eat there. And I asked my buddy, I said, "Hey man, you think I can, you think I'm be able, how much money I have to bring with me? I don't know if I can afford to go there." They're like, "Bro, you can get food for like $6." I was like, "What the fuck? Really?" I said, "My parents been lying to me my whole life, so I
That's
thought you had to be
right.
like super rich to go eat at this Mexican restaurant." And I get there and I bring like $10 with me and I eat like a king. So growing up with that mindset, like I thought you had to be, because I always heard you couldn't afford it. I thought you had to be like super wealthy to do these things. I didn't go to Disney World until I was like 30 or something, like 31. I took myself to Disney World, and I thought you had to be like super wealthy just to go to Disney World. And come to find out, it's really not that. It's really affordable to go if you plan finance out right. It's really affordable to take your family there. So it's not really. I guess it's funny to me because like where my mindset is now
Yeah.
versus how I was taught growing up. It's just like how much growth has happened in my life since then. Because I eat Mexican restaurant. I probably eat Mexican like 4 days a week or some shit. I don't think.
Yeah, you made it, man. You could eat at
Yeah.
the Mexican restaurant whenever you want to, huh?
I can get 3 street tacos, man.
You're right, man. I love those street tacos. That's my favorite thing. A lot of people like those burrito tacos and all that. And I'm just like, man, give me some of those street tacos, the al pastor tacos. I love them, man.
Yeah, give me some onions and cilantro on it, and let's rock and roll.
Absolutely. Yeah. I figured I made it now. And the only reason I know I can make it now when I buy off the menu at the restaurant, I don't got to worry about if I'm going to be able to pay the bill. So, I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
yeah, and I think that was a goal of mine becoming an adult. It's like I can put up everything, all my bills on auto draft without having to worry about them. Like that was been like a big goal of mine becoming an adult. Like let
Yeah.
me set up everything up on auto draft so we don't have to worry about them. And then once that happened, I was like, all right, I've made it. Like I'm wealthy as
Yeah.
hell now, but I'm not.
Absolutely,
But
man. I back in the day I used to get my lights cut off, man. I took the light meter, man, and I drilled a hole in the bottom of it and I stuck something in there to slow the damn meter down from turning so fast so my bill would be so.
That's
Oh,
funny.
yeah. I'm just so glad I could just keep the lights on now sometimes.
No, I've been there, man. Like I have
Yeah.
been there where I didn't know where the next chat, well, how I was gonna afford stuff. Man, I've been there as an adult. It sucks. I've been there. I've been there as a kid. But growing up as an adult and you seeing that as a kid, you think it's kind of normal, but it's not normal at all. It's just we were just raised with a poverty mindset,
Oh,
and
yeah.
those old demons still come back up to creep me, man. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes some things that were childhood, I guess you would call it trauma, really comes back up and creeps up and makes its sneaky ass way back into my life from time to time. And I'm like, no, you've outgrown this. Like you've grown from this. I have to like ding my way out of it. I'm not a perfect soul, whatever. I still deal with my share of demons from my childhood, and that's one of them is those old habits of how I was raised about money, finances, or a scarcity for me. Uh, back up in my life as an adult. Even now, even when we're doing well, it still creeps back up. I start breaking out in cold sweats and shit. If my bank accounts gets below a certain number, it gets me the cold sweats. I sweat at night. I wake up, and that's the first thing that goes through my mind is finances. 2 o'clock in the morning, wake up, take a piss, and first thing I'm thinking about is, other than taking a piss, is how much money's in my account.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like once you get in a rut, it's easy to fall back into that same spot.
It
And
cripple
so,
you.
absolutely. So that's why you got to try to focus on getting in a good rut and keep moving in that direction. And I guess you just got to stay focused on it.
Yep, and sales will solve all your problems. So the more sales you make, the more easier it is to solve whatever financial problem you're having or any problem in your life.
Hmm.
Sales will solve all that for you. So
Yeah.
it's
So
one thing
once you,
I always tell myself, sales to solve this problem, sales to solve this problem. I kind of get through it with that.
yeah, money coming in is going to outweigh the expenditure on the back end, huh?
100%, man. Always.
Yeah, and that's what I always tell my family. I was like, look, I mean, if this money not coming in, like this thing's got to shut down, and
Yeah.
like I can't quite wrap my head around the way that the economy in the United States is going. Like we got so much money going out and
Little coming
not
in.
enough coming in, and I'm just like, man, if this was my house right here and I was running this business, it'd shut down. I don't see how this thing floats.
Yeah, 100%, and that's where we're at now. Like I told you a little previously, before we started recording, like I had to get rid of a lot of my staff. Things just weren't going right. It seemed like we had a lot going out, but the staff, my office staff, uh, was doing a piss poor job of getting the money to come back. My accounts receivables, they weren't doing their job. They weren't making sure we were getting our final checks, things of that nature. Well, if you're always going out and if you're throwing 70% out, but you only got like 30% coming back, you at some point you're about to come into a tipping point of where it's going to feel like it's damn near impossible to come out of, and that's kind of what we got into between that and like I said, I did a bad business deal. It's a Bubba inflected loan with my company because I had my sights and obsession set on that division working so well to bring in and generate, 5, 6, $10 million a year with just that one division. And I was so laser focused on it, I kind of lost sight of what we were great at. So my communication kind of lacked with my team. And that was another piss poor business decision on my end. There's things that you grow from because without any of that, you don't know that you're screwing up. You don't know. You just keep on living life like that and you stay in this forever chasing something that's never going to come into fruition for your company. And I'm glad I learned about it on the early end of things where
Hmm.
we're just in like a $60,000, $70,000 deficit versus a $500,000 deficit on the back end of things. So
Yeah.
it didn't take me long to realize that it wasn't healthy for my company to go down that avenue.
Yeah, fail first, fail fast, fail often, and get those losses out the way. Take those L's early, and I guess that way it'll grow, and you learn what you did wrong. That way you can do more of what's going right, huh?
100%.
Yep, yep. Um, when did you feel a calling on your life, and how long did it take to find it?
So 2017, it was when the calling came to me that to help more people, you need to help people. I didn't really take any action until 2020. because I would start something and then it was never my plan A, and that's where I was screwing up really bad because I always had the refineries to fall back on, the quality, because I always had that money guaranteed, so I would never go
Plan
all in.
B.
Yeah, I always had that plan B. I never went all in on plan A. To be real with myself now, then I was saying this is my plan. This is what I really wanted, but I didn't really want it. And COVID was the best thing that ever happened to me because it pulled away my plan B. I got ran out of the plants because of COVID. I
I
lost
remember that
everything.
we was on that same shutdown together when it
Yeah,
shut down. Yeah.
I lost everything that year. That year, I lost my house, lost my cars, lost every damn thing. 2021 rolled around. At the time, I was with my ex. Her mom let us live in her house because I couldn't even afford a place for our kids to lay their head at night. It was
Come
bad.
on.
I was negative $2,800 in the bank when I started my company. I had went work for another roofing company. Did the manager? And I know I'm getting on a sidebar tangent from your question. I'll get back to
No, you
that.
all good, bro.
But the manager, the sales manager that hired me or whatever, he really didn't teach me shit. Basically, we'd pull up and say, "Go knock on the door, see if you can get a contract signed." He really gave me the bare minimum
Right.
information that was needed to sell a roof. I knocked the door. I remember this dude. I knocked the door. Boom! I can tell you his name. I'm not gonna put his information out there. I know his address. I still remember all of it. Knocked the door. Gave him an estimate. I left. Still at that time, my only purpose was to help people, but I didn't know which way to do it. I went to an event in April of 2021. Talked to some roofers there. They're like, "Dude, you need to start your roof." I was kept telling me, "I'm planning on doing yada yada," and just coincidentally, right after that event, that next week, that guy that I gave that estimate to in January called me up, said, "Hey man, I don't know if you remember." He told me his name. I said, "I know exactly who you are." He said, "Can you still do my roof for this price for this estimate?" I didn't know if I could or I couldn't. I told him, "Hell yeah, I can." And I didn't
The
know.
answer.
Yeah, I said, "Yeah, I can." I said, "Hell." I taught. So I had to open up another banking account. I was negative $2,800 in my personal account. I talked this man in to write me a personal check for half of the funds to cover my labor and expenses and material. I didn't have a roofing crew. I didn't know who I was going to get my material. I didn't know anything. I put all this together after he gave me the deposit check. I said, "Look, man, we're about 3 to 4 weeks out. I'm trying to say like big shot. Like, we're about 3 to 4 weeks out." So as soon as he gives me the deposit check, I get it into the bank and I go to work. I'm like, "All right, let me reach out to some people I know. Hey man, is there any way you give me a roofing crew?" Gave me some guys' information. Boom, got a roofing crew. "Hey man, can you give me like a contact on where I can get some material from?" Boom, gave me a contact. Made a relationship there. Got the material to the job, and I got that job. And that's kind of how we got started. Almost sold the job to, which was one of my biggest competitors in my area, for $500 referral fee. Almost sold the job to because I was scared to death to actually do it. Uh, Now, glad I didn't. Both of them have worked for me because their company failed since that time. So everything comes back around, man. Just keep them pushing forward. But that calling and what keeps.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here, huh?
That's right. And then actually, that truck that I drive now, that company that I was going to sell that to it for a referral fee couldn't afford it any longer. Bank was about to repo it. I worked out a deal with the bank, kept the loan in their name. I took ownership of the truck. Now I drive one of their trucks. House that I was going to buy it to flip. I did a sub-2 deal on it from one of the owners. He was about to lose it to the bank. I was able to suck it up under a sub-2 deal, real estate deal, and I was going to flip it real quick. We had some issues with the renovation, so we kind of just moved into it and renovated as we go. We're going to sell it the end of next year. Oh, but all of that, I said all of that just because that's what's gotten us here. Is the calling of helping people has got my company to where it's at today. I've always put the client first. That's one of our core values. That's our number one core value is to put the client first. It doesn't matter because you're out there to help them. They're not there to help you. You got to offer them the help, and helping and caring for them and putting them first is what got us here. And that's my calling. It's just helping people get through their problem. And their problem is the insurance company, and we have built a bunch of processes to take down the insurance company.
Sure. And I mean, that's the thing is everybody complains about insurance companies and rates, and their thing is they go up because everything happens, but their main
Hmm.
goal, how they make monies, is not paying out money to other
That's
people.
it.
You know, I
Delay, deny, delay, deny, delay, deny. Because the longer they can hold on to your money, the more that they grow that money on compound interest. And then if they delay and deny it for 3 months, they just grew your money for 3 more months because you're still paying your premium every month.
sure.
Fuck your claim. Fuck paying you out right now. Here, let's give you some money now. After 3 months, we don't grew our money. Now we're not losing any money. Now we're still making money off of your money. It's kind of how the insurance company works. Warren Buffett is, he said his mindset changed about money when he understood that once a home or a person could pay a premium from the time they pay their premium to the time they got to pay out on that policy, the astronomical growth of compound interest. That's what changed his mind about money and how money worked. Was the insurance game.
Yeah, I think it was Benjamin Franklin said that's one of the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest.
100% is. I
Yep.
love some compound interest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a good start, man. That's a really good start. What have been your keys to success?
Uh, Hard work. Just and it's not just hard work because you see people that work hard their whole lives, and they die just as poor as they were born. They die in the same poverty they were born in. It's not about just working hard. It's about also working hard at the right things and learning. People quit learning. They think once they get out of school, they learn a little bit in their 20s. That's all they need to know to go on through life. I constantly try to learn, you know, and work hard at the new things because those new things, we live in a world that's evolving around us. And if we don't, evolve with the curve, we'll get left behind quick. AI, there's a lot of business owners that turn their nose up at AI. If it wasn't for AI, my emails would look like a kindergartner wrote them.
I show you right, dude.
Like,
That Chat
like
GPT is amazing. My buddy put me on that stuff. I said, dude, how do you come up with all this eloquent stuff? Oh, he said, look, I just use Chat GPT, and I'm just like, what is that? And he says, hey, give me three sentences about yada yada yada, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, that's
it's a
amazing.
game changer. It's a game changer, man. Like literally, you can get it to write. And I was talking to one of my public adjuster friends this past week at that event. He was telling me that an engineer sent him an argument of why they couldn't pay for something because they sent him some like some code or some court case or some shit. So he went into Chat GPT, gave it all the keywords and say, create me an argument for this case on this date. And and generate me a chart for it. In Chat GPT wrote him out a full page of an argument for the cited code that this dude just cited through a court case. And he sent it to him. They got it bought. Got a $1.6 million claim bought because of Chat GPT, dude. It's crazy.
Hell yeah, a whole box of uppercuts coming up, huh?
Oh yeah, Chat GPT. I think not only like I said working hard, but working hard at the right things, learning, constantly learning. A lot of personal development goes into this. A lot of self improvement goes into this. A lot of people don't do enough self improvement,
Yeah,
and they think they know what they know, and they don't need to learn anything else. And that's kind of where their downfall is. Most people's downfall is they quit learning at a young age.
yeah,
So,
yep. So that Chat GPT makes you sound like a Porter John poet over there, huh?
man, I will put something in there. Like I just sent one out today. I typed
Yeah,
out what I was gonna say. I typed out what I was gonna say, copied it in Chat GPT, and said, "Make this sound more professional and demanding," because I like to send in bullish emails. That
yeah,
shit's popped back out. I'm like, this is way better than what I wrote.
yeah,
Typed it, posted it in there, and I sent it. And it sounds great, man. It's like the cheat code for business owners. Like you don't have to know everything. There's tools out there that if you put just a little knowledge of learning
yeah,
will can help you grow astronomically. And it's not when I say working hard, it's not even hard work. It's just making it a priority to learn it. A lot of business owners and people don't even do that. So
yeah. So what's one of the biggest tools that you put in your toolbox as far as learning?
reading books.
You do a lot of reading?
I do a lot of reading, man. I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Nice.
I'll listen to an audiobook and then I'll read a book at the same time. You know, kind of get that double whammy. If I'm in a truck, I'm listening to an audiobook or a podcast, but mainly audiobooks. And then I do a lot of reading, man. I try to at least read 10 pages a day, a chapter a day.
Yeah, they said
And
you read like 30 books a year or whatever if you just read 10 pages a day.
yeah, and I tell you, man, it's a game changer. There's so much. I I wish I can. As a kid, I would have read more, but I didn't think I needed to read. It wasn't my strong point. English. Even listening to me now, when I talk to people, I don't sound like the most intelligent individual because I did speech, English, all that stuff was like
Mm-hmm.
obsolete to me. If we didn't have to do it in math or numbers, I didn't give a fuck about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still like that kind of this day because I'm not like the most intellectual when it comes to a conversation. Sometimes some people get throw a bunch of fancy words out there and sound like they're like they just speaking poetry. I'm not that. I'm just raw, man, real, and as sound comes off like I sound ignorant sometimes, but it is what it is. I'm not really worried about it. The numbers don't lie.
That's right. That's it, man. So you big on growth mindset, huh?
Growth, man. I'm big on growth mindset. Your mindset will do one of two things. It will excel you forward in life,
Mm-hmm.
or to hold you back. That's the only two things your mindset will do. There's so many people that put up roadblocks and hold themselves back from any opportunity because they talk themselves out of it, and that comes down to how their mindset works.
Yeah, I
So
guess either you're gonna have a poverty or a power mindset. I guess, huh? Growth.
100%, man. A lot of people dismiss opportunity because they pass it off as a scam. It happens every day.
Mm.
They think
Mm.
if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. I'm not saying not do your due diligence and doing some dumb shit, or sending making a business decision off over a Facebook message. Do your due diligence, but you can't just pass off an opportunity as it's a scam or it's not for you. If you do that every time, that's a poverty mindset. If every opportunity you look at like it's a scam or it's too good to be true, that's just a poverty mindset that you live in. You don't feel like that anything good like that could happen in your life. You don't believe it could happen in your life, so you just pass off as a scam or that
Yeah.
wouldn't work for me or something of that nature.
Yeah.
I'm big on an abundant mindset, man. I think bigger. My wife looks at me like I'm crazy. Me and my wife's been married for a year now, and we dated 6 months before that. We did a quick turnaround in that marriage, but she looked at me like I'm crazy because I'm literally always looking at private jets to buy. I can't afford them. Right? I can't afford a private jet. I'm always looking at an island to buy. I can't afford an island. I'm always looking at new Rolex watches. I have a Rolex, but I don't have the one that I want.
Yeah.
I'm always looking at that kind of stuff, and that just feeds. It's not about material things,
Mm-hmm.
but it feeds your abundance of
Yeah.
mindsets. The more money you make, the more people you can help. I'm a
Yeah.
firm believer in that. Money makes you, in my opinion, a better person. It just you can give more if you need to give. It feels so much better if you can give a charity 100 grand. If you got
Sure.
extra 100 grand and give, you're like, damn, you're able to help that many more people, and money allows that. And that only comes through abundance, thinking abundantly of the things that you want. It's not just about material things. It comes down to if it's coming down to helping people, you can help more people if you make more money.
Sure. 100%. And they
So,
say they say whenever you have the more money you get, the more of your true nature is exposed.
boom, your true character is exposed when the money if you're a stingy, bitter individual being broke, you'll be a stingy, bitter individual when you're rich. It's just that simple. If you're an abundant giver when you're broke, you're gonna be an abundant giver when you're rich.
Sure.
It's just how nature works, how we're programmed. It's how you're programmed as a person. And I'm a firm believer in that as well, Chad.
Yeah. Do you
Money exposes you.
yeah, to your real character. I get it, man. That's good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
man. So you look at that stuff and you just know that's the direction you heading in, huh?
I look at it. I feel like if I don't look at that, then I'll never believe that I can get that, receive that. There's a lot of people, influencers of mine, that have done the same thing, and now they live a life of abundance. They don't have to look at the ticket when they go to a restaurant. They don't have to look at the ticket when they pay. They just pay it. They never have to worry about the finances because they have bred and grow their mind to believe that abundance is real and true, and that is a way to feed your abundant nature is with material things. Even though material things are obsolete to me, I don't get two shits about them. Are they
Yeah.
nice? They're just a byproduct of the abundance that I'm looking to grow into life.
Yeah.
Because I really want to give back more. I really want to start nonprofits and stuff where I can really give back and feed the communities. with knowledge. At the end of the day, that's what we're looking to do. I'm looking to start a nonprofit to where I could help individuals learn skilled crafts. That way, contractors could hire skilled labor, uh, all through nonprofits. And you can't do that being broke or saying, "Oh, you got to have some finances to make all that happen."
Yeah,
So
and I think you'll probably like this or whatever that, and you probably already heard this, but there's a guy named Napoleon Hill, and he studied business habits of people who were successful and wealthy and everything. And I think one of his quotes that I like was, "Whatever the mind can receive and believe, it can achieve." So
100%.
that vision or whatever. I'm big on definitions, but you ever heard the definition of vision?
Mm-mm.
It's unlimited sight. So whenever you have a vision, it's like you could see through the wall. So
Yeah.
nothing limits you. So whenever you have in your mind's eye, you're going to go after that thing with everything you've got, and nothing's going to stop you. No barricades.
100% true. I believe that.
Yeah. Do you go ahead?
So if you really want something, people say things are hard. I've been through hard shit in life. When people tell me things are hard, I'm just kind of like, damn, bro, you ain't really never dealt with nothing hard. But like, if you really want something, nothing's really hard in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's
if
right.
I just feel like if you truly want it as bad as you're saying you want it, it's not getting up each day would not be hard. Sleeping through your alarm wouldn't be hard. Like things of that nature. Like losing weight. If you want to lose weight, it's not that hard if you really want it. It's
Yeah.
an easy thing to do. You just got to put in the work to do it. You got to make it a priority type deal. It's not really that hard.
Right on. Right on. Do you think that the your QC quality control background, and whenever I met you, you was doing QC work, had a big influence on your work ethic?
Yeah, it does because I was production before that, and we know how production is. Get it done, get it done. Now I had some good mentors when I got into the turnaround world, but also at the end of the day, when time's pressed and the foreman's breathing down your neck, GF's breathing down his neck, it's about production at that point. Get it done as fast as possible. If you
Mm-hmm.
get, well, we can go back and do it again. Let's just put it on the paper that it's complete, right? Now that I went through quality control and stuff, it really gave me the emphasis of doing things right. If you got time to do it twice, you got time to do it right.
Right.
So that's kind of the mindset I adopted. That along paired up with integrity of doing the right thing at all times is really what kind of fed a lot of the things in my company and how we operate on the operation and production end. The
Right
quality
on.
control department, kind of bred all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it done right, and you better make sure it's done right.
That's right. Because
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got, the one thing I despise, and I started it didn't this happened in the quality control department, and it would burn my ass when we had to go back and do double work, or I had to go back and QC something twice
Yeah.
because the production guys didn't do it right, or they just half-assed, or whatever it happened.
Oh yeah.
It used to chap my ass when
Oh,
I had
I
to go
know
back
it.
and QC
I
something twice.
I tell everybody that I'm lazy, and they look at me and I said, dude, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make one trip on this thing because I only want to come out here one time. I'm lazy,
100%.
so we're gonna try and kill
100%.
this sucker. I don't care if I gotta pack everything in my bag and it's the heaviest bag ever, and I don't care how long I gotta work at it or how hard I gotta hit it. I only want to do it once, and let's get it
One
right,
and done.
boys. Yep.
That's how I
What?
am.
Yeah. What's one of the biggest struggles that you had from moving from blue collar worker to business owner?
Yeah, so that was a big struggle, and I still, like I said, I still kind of battle this demon now. And I have a hustle mindset. Growing up in poverty, I
You got to
always
hustle.
had to hustle, man. Like I remember I used to hustle off pretzels. I hated pretzels. That's all my mom could afford. So I'd bring a bag of pretzels to school. I'd hustle those bitches off. I found this one little nerd at school that liked pretzels, and I would sell him my pretzels for like $1, and I would have money to get the snack that I wanted. So I
Uh-huh.
started hustling at a young age. But when you get into business, that only works until for a little while, until shit starts to hit the fan and you realize you have no processes, no procedures, no systems to support your company. That hustle mindset is like a big demon at that point. It will fuck you because you're out chasing, blowing, trying to catch money.
Mhm.
But if you have no processes to support all the work you're bringing in, it will screw you. And that's been the biggest struggle Even now, I still struggle with that now because I'll blow and go, blow and go, blow and go. And I'm like, damn, now I go sit in the office and do paperwork.
Yeah.
Or I gotta go. Now we gotta follow this process. We don't have a process for this yet, right? So
Hmm.
it's just sometimes you got to slow down and speed up, and that's been the hardest struggle for me, transitioning from the blue collar world where I really was a hustler, man. I
Hmm.
was hustling the plans. I would do raffles. I would do all kinds of stuff to make extra money. I would hustle jobs. I would, oh, give me my layoff. I'll do a 3-day call in sick, and I would go straight hiring for the next job. I was hustling.
Yeah.
And that transitioning over into the business world is you have to have process and procedures to support your business. And a hustle mindset doesn't do that. Your hustle mindset only goes out and just chasing the dollar.
Yeah.
So
And
that's been
sometimes
the biggest
you gotta
struggle.
lock in on what's important instead of trying to be everywhere at once.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But that also comes back to helping people too. I transitioned from that 2017 mindset because, like I said, the demons come up to haunt me. It's transitioning to now, even though you're trying to chase the money because it's a good byproduct, you always got to put that client first. At the end of the day, that client, their best interest has to be at the front of the transaction. When that hustle mindset, the thing that's at the front of the transaction is the money. So that's why sometimes you got to, I had to scale back on that a lot. Like I said, you got to slow down to speed up in business. And if you got that hustle mindset, it will jack you up if you
So
don't watch it.
so basically you're saying your transition moved from money to worrying about your clients' concerns.
Yes. Yes. 100%.
Nice. And that's
That's
gonna
it.
build you, man. That's a good focus to have. What's one of the biggest challenges to running a business?
Manpower, trusting people, trusting that you're making the right moves and doing the right training for your people and team. Because if you train them improperly, which I've been guilty of this, if you don't train them to the full extent of what they need training, you know, it can screw you as a business owner. So at the end of the day, the challenge comes down to making sure you're hiring people that you can trust or you're training them. If you train them properly, you should be able to trust them. But you really kind of gotta make sure you're hiring the right people that's really fit for your culture. Not everybody's fit for your culture. Not everybody's fit. I'm hard to deal with sometimes. I like to haze and joke around. Some people don't can't handle that, right? I'm
No,
not trying to. I'm
there's
not.
some people that's got thick skin and there's some people that's got thin skin.
Yeah, so some people aren't designed to work in our environment or in my company just because their character isn't there. You can have like the best character in the world, and that's what we hire off of, really character. Like we don't hire off
Mm.
of really skills. I could train skill set, but when it comes to training, you got to make sure you train them at the right skill set as well. So that's the biggest challenge right now is make sure that we're hiring the right people, hiring integrable people also, so we can thrive, get the training in. Because having a high turnover rate, it costs a lot of money.
Sure, sure. What kind of training do you guys do?
So when it comes to sales reps, we do 3-week training, a lot of classroom stuff, a lot of in the field training, a lot of on hands on training. That is the best training. Uh,
Okay.
and you really want to make sure you got somebody that has a sales personality. Somebody's going to have that thicker skin. Somebody get a door slammed in their face and tell them to go fuck themselves, and they can still go knock on the neighbor's door and
And still
hit
have
them
a
with a crazy.
smile, huh?
Still have a smile on their face. Some people can't do
Absolutely.
that, right?
No.
Um, when it comes to marketing, we kind of source that. The staff, you have to have a personality in here because like I said, we haze people. We like to joke around. We like to keep things light. Good thing my wife is like the director of operations.
Hmm.
She's more of a enforcer as well. I'm more of the light humored individual. She says I don't take things serious enough. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
I just like,
When I first got in the plant, they told me you got to leave your feelings at home in a shoebox underneath your bed, so that way nobody will hurt them.
that's
You know.
right.
Yeah.
Leave them at the gate.
That's right. What's some of your core values?
Um, I kind of touched base on them like earlier, but our number one is put the client first.
Mm.
That is the number one thing. Is at the end of the day, that's the only person that matters in our transactions is the client, the homeowner, the property owner, whoever we're doing the repair or the replacement or the construction work on. They are the number one priority in the transaction, not the insurance company. Don't give two shits about those guys.
Mm-mm.
I don't give two shits about my sales reps when it comes to the point of are we putting the client first? integrity, doing the right thing at the right time, owning your shit. You got to own your own shit, man. You try to always place blame on someone else when it's like at the end of the day, if anything fails in my company, 100% my fault. It doesn't matter how much I talk to them blue in the face, pointing fingers. At the end of the day, it comes down to my fault because I didn't train them properly. I didn't give them the tools needed to be successful. It's my fault as the business owner, and owning your own shit is another big core value of ours. Integrity, and like I said, putting that client first. That at the end of the day, that's what matters to us.
Yeah, and once you put people first, they know it. You do a good job for them. They know that they can trust you. They ain't got to stand over you. That is going to breed repeat sales or repeat clients, and they're going to tell a friend about it. They're going to be like, "Dude took care of me. Bubba and his guys came out here. They did a good job for me," and that's what's going to build those relationships.
Yeah, that's the big key to our success as a company is relationships, is doing what we say we're going to do. A lot of business owners don't do that. You say you got to be there at 10:30, they show up at 11:30.
Hey, if you can't show up on time, show up when you can. Hand.
That's right. That's right. And that's what a lot of people do, and they don't even give the clients any warning. And again, I'm not sitting here acting like I'm some perfect Pete. I've been late to my share of appointments, losing track of time.
Man, stuff happens.
Just now we kind of give a window, especially if we're packing in a lot of appointments in a day's time.
Sure.
If I got more than 3 appointments in a day, it's not going to be beneficial to me to try to give exact times to be there because I am a talker. I will sit there and build a relationship with a client. I want them to feel warm and fuzzy when I leave that roof consultation that they're made the right decision.
They're the most important person.
So I take
100%.
my time with my clients. I don't get a signature and leave. I get a signature and I assure them that they made the right decision. I assure them that they have any questions that pop up because I know how it is. You'll have a conversation with somebody and they'll leave like, damn, I should have asked that.
Yeah.
Call my phone anytime, day or night. My phone's open to you. They have to know these things before we leave that. Some of these other companies, as soon as they get a signature, they're out the door. They're running out the door. I mean, with a peace sign behind their back while they're sprinting to the door to go to the next client.
Yeah.
I don't like to do that. I know if I got more than appointments that day, that I'm having to give windows for my appointments. Hey, I'll be there between 10:30 and 12. Not saying I'm be there, but I'll let you know exactly when I'm on the way. I'll give you my ETA when I'm on the way. So I don't know how much time it's going to take me to do that inspection when I get there. I don't know how much time it's going to take me to nurture that client into
Mm-hmm.
working with us. Everybody's different, man.
Mm-hmm.
My new sales rep today seen that firsthand. Firsthand. First client we went to didn't really take that much nurturing to get her to hire us. The second one, he was skeptical from the get go. He was dead set. All he wanted from us was an estimate. And that was it. And then after I assured him several times that we work with the insurance company and it's our job that he don't have to, he's an 80-year-old man. It's not your job to fight with the insurance company. I built a company for that.
Right.
That's what my company does. Will fight on your
And he
behalf.
probably didn't understand that until you left.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
And
information
so,
is the key.
and he told me that. He said, "Man, I'm glad you informed me." He said, "Because honestly, I didn't know. I just going off what the insurance company told me."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Why would a company that you pay every month want you to put in work on your own claim? It is their job to do the work,
Right.
not yours. It ain't your job to go hunt for contractors. It's not your job to get up there and take on your roof and take pictures. It's not your job to send them pictures. It is their job. That's what you paid their asses for."
Right.
I said, "It's not your job." I said, "I'll build an inspection report. I'll send it to them. I'll get an adjuster out here and we'll get this claim pushed across the finish line for you."
Good
Okay,
stuff.
cool. Signed it out line. We rolled out.
Good stuff, man. Who's some of your mentors or influencers that you followed, and how did they change that mindset or are changing?
So, a couple of people I listen to on podcasts would be Andy Frisella. He owns First Form. He's yeah, a lot of his. I feel like he's inside my head sometimes because we have a lot of the same thought process when
Sure.
it comes to just everyday life. Ed Milet, super influential, super knowledgeable individual. He owns World Finance. These are guys that really come up through the trenches and got to where they're at. Another big one is David Goggins. That dude is
That
his
dude.
mindset will make every time I listen to his book when I'm working out. I've done probably listened to his book 5 times. his mindset makes me feel like I'm the weakest bitch in the world.
Dude, it's
Like
something to hear his stories, man. It's
yeah.
crazy.
So it's like I got work. That's three big influencers, man.
That's good.
All great people to follow, listen to. If you ain't heard, I don't make any money by saying this. If you ain't read David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, I advise everyone to read it or listen to it on audio.
I might have to check that one out. I've heard his story many times, and I listened to a few people. They said, "Man, I messed up and worked out with Goggins, and we went
Yeah,
out there." And he said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a 1 mile run." It's like 30 miles later.
30 miles later. Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool, man. Uh, I'm writing this down. That I need to probably go ahead and listen or read that book or whatever.
it's great.
Tell me about the Blue Collar Alliance. I saw you started on Facebook. Tell me about it and what the dream is for that, or what the goal is with that.
Yeah, I started quite a few years back now, and the goal behind it was to give knowledge, hustle ideas to blue collar workers that are stuck in their own ways. You hear it all the time, oh, just out here living the dream. You start saying that enough to yourself, you start to believe it. This is what you're meant to do. Their life revolves around just working, work, chasing the dollar, not having any
Mhm.
time for their family. They miss birthdays, holidays, literally work their fingers to the bone up until the day they die. I started the Blue Collar Alliance after a guy I worked with Homestead. He was our tool room guy.
Mhm.
He was literally gearing up to go on a turnaround, and he passed away because he never set his life up to retire in his later years or retire at all.
How old
He
was the
thought,
guy?
bro, this dude was like 68, 72, somewhere. He's like like close to the 70 range. I mean, he was an older
Still
guy,
working.
still working his fingers to the bone, knees bad, man.
Yeah.
Dude's knees bad, working on that concrete because he never set his life up to get out of the plants, get out the rat
Yeah.
race, work less, and
Yeah.
spend more time with your family. It's the goal for Blue Collar Alliance. Learn how to work less, spend more time with your family, but make more. There's so many. I was talking to my new sales rep. There's so many
Gotta work. You
ways.
gotta work your angles.
Yes, there's so many ways to make money right now. Have you seen the chick on TikTok and the reels, the hot Tua chick?
Yeah,
You
dude,
know what I'm
that's
talking?
everywhere.
There's
Hey, and
so
just
many.
like that, everybody's hawk to it.
Everybody's hot to it. Everybody's making shirts, hats, and ain't no telling how many hundreds of thousands of
Oh,
dollars these motherfuckers are going to make off of what somebody else said. It's
absolutely.
opportunities like that people capitalize on that people don't have a clue on how to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
It's a
And I'm,
hustle. It's all it is. It's a hustle, and
yeah.
I've kind of not given, like I said, building a company it takes a lot of time and energy. I really need to dive back in more because we were growing at a rapid rate and we've kind of stalemated over the last couple years. I really need to get back in there and start doing my Monday motivations and kind of dropping my tips in there on how people
People,
can make more money.
people need it, man.
Yeah,
Everybody needs a little inspiration. Everybody needs their fire freshened up and hot. The Lord, He gave me a vision a long time ago, and He said the only way that you can stay hot is by lighting somebody else's flame. And that's the only way you can stay on fire
that's right.
is by helping inspire somebody's flame. And I see that you out there doing that. I see you post a lot of stuff about mindset. And everybody needs that, man, because from time to time we get cold, whether it's spirituality, whether it's work ethic, whether it's vision, whatever it is, we all kind of need that stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I get like that. Like I said, I'm not a perfect Pete, man. Some days I'll wake up. I don't even want to get out of bed, man. Some days I battle. I'm not a depressive person, but some days the weight of the business, the weight of life is so heavy on me. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do nothing, but I have to. I got people that rely on me. I have to do it, right? And
Oh, yeah,
sometimes it's just a quote. Sometimes it's just a podcast. Sometimes it's just a
sure.
phrase. I'm like, all right, this was your sign. Get to moving.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes a little bit to make that happen. And that's
Yeah.
all
Just,
I try. Like I said, I just want to leave the biggest footprint on this planet before I leave, and that's just my ultimate goal.
yeah, just let people know you were here. And like you said earlier, a lot of people in the plane. I'm sure that old man that he passed away about getting ready for a turnaround at 70 something years old. He's like living a dream, but
Yeah,
nightmares are dreams too. So just you got to be specific. This
that's
could be a
right.
nightmare. And
Hey, that's true statement.
I've seen these guys in the plants, and I know I can't do that forever, and I can't work hard because these poor fellas, they working around and their shoulders are slumped and they're walking, and you see they're hurting. I'm like, man, man, I can't stay in here my whole life. Don't get me wrong, the money is good, man. I met some of the finest human beings with some of the finest stories in the world, but man, you can't be out there 70 something years old building scaffold or freaking turning wrenches.
Hell no.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
tough.
What's one of the biggest problems you see in the South? And I know you're from Macomb, Mississippi. You know, me being from Louisiana. What's one of the big things that you see as a problem?
Poor leadership. Pike County, doesn't matter what side of the fence you sit on when it comes to politics.
Hmm.
We just poor leadership. Both sides of the fence are really dirty. Both our hands are dirty. Ain't one no better than the other. Some have greater values than others. Some some have both sides of the fence, or whether political party you side with. I think that's the biggest problem in the South right now is politics and leadership. These cities, especially these bigger cities, man, they ran by poor leadership. They're not making the best decision for the citizens that live inside those cities, and that's a huge thing here in Macomb. It's just piss poor leadership, man. That's a huge. I don't think it's just a South thing. I think it's more of a national thing. Um,
Hmm.
I guess to touch base on just the South. People get stuck in their ways, man, and they try to do the same thing that their parents done, but they don't like the position their parents are in life, but they want to do simulate and do the exact same thing that their parents done, which is going to ultimately put them in the same position as their parents when they get older.
Sure.
And I think that too many people put too much emphasis. Not saying that all parental knowledge is bad. I'm not saying that one bit. But at some point, you got to do thinking for yourself. I see a lot of people who let their parents do their thinking for them instead of them doing thinking for themselves. And then they ultimately end up in this bubble inside this box that they're not happy in. Then they live a miserable life and a lackluster life. And it's because they never got outside of the box and did any thinking for themselves.
Sure. Yeah.
That's
And
a big thing here.
yeah, I could see that happening, man. And one of my previous podcasts, my buddy Craig got on here, entrepreneur, super inspirational guy. He got on there, and his dad, which is a great individual too. I love him to death. And he told the story about that. His dad always told him, he said, I always did this, and I wish I would have took more chances and done what I wanted to do. And he
That's
said he
right.
took that at a young age, and he says, I'm gonna do exactly what my dad said to do, which was not do and stay in the same spot. And he's a business owner. Like I said, he's an entrepreneur. I think they got a franchise going, Flow and
Oh
Grow
yeah.
Wellness, and he's going to Atlanta, starting another one. I'm just like, dude, that's it, man.
That's it. That's badass. So I
Yeah,
didn't have that influence growing up. My influence was the struggle bus. This is life for us. This is what poor people do. There's nothing outside of this. That's kind of what I was taught growing up. But it's
this is
awesome.
all I got.
Yeah, it's awesome you had that influence growing up, man. And that's the influence I try to give to my kids as well. Like you can be whatever the fuck you want to be. Don't let somebody tell you gotta be something.
Yeah,
Whatever you want, whatever.
I wish somebody would have told me this earlier.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Wish somebody would have told me this earlier. That's I think that's the key words. Everybody once they get to a certain age, like, damn, why didn't somebody tell me about this earlier?
So that being said, segue into this, what would you tell an 18-year-old version of yourself?
Buy real estate.
Yeah,
And it's funny. It's funny you asked that. Somebody actually told me that when I was 18. I was 18. I didn't give a fuck about any of it. I probably would have not listened. Now that I'm into real estate and I buy and flip real estate, I
yeah,
would have told myself because real estate is really a true way to financial freedom. It really is. It's the only asset that you can purchase that never goes to zero. Like it literally won't. Stocks to zero, bottom out. Stocks have the potential of bottoming out, no matter how great the
sure.
company is.
Yeah,
Precious metals have the potential of bottoming out.
sure. Yeah, and I mean the
Real
thing
estate.
is, the thing that gives something value is its scarcity, and
That's
they're not
right.
making no more land. And a lot of people that have land, they're not selling it, and
Not
when they do
selling.
sell it, it keep going up.
It just goes up, man. So 18-year-old me, I've told him to buy more land. I pissed away a lot of money in my 20s. I could have bought a lot of property with that.
Right,
But
right,
like I said, that's exactly what I would tell my 18-year-old me: invest in real estate more. No,
right.
learn about real estate essentially, and then invest in it. Whether you're just buying land, you know what I would have told my 18-year-old self. Now that I think about it,
Go ahead.
buy some Bitcoin.
Yeah, if you would have known, dude, whenever COVID shut down, I'll be honest with you, like whenever we went off of that shutdown and everybody bought all the toilet paper and, all of these stores and everybody
Yeah,
went to the house and I was sitting there drawing unemployment or whatever it was, somebody reached out to me and they was like, hey, you should really get into this Bitcoin and everything. And I was like, how much is it? And it's like $4,000 a token. And I'm just like, I'm not buying anything for 4,000. And now it's at $70,000. And I'm
yeah, I
just
know,
like,
bro.
man, I should have threw everything I made on that outage straight at it. But hindsight is 2020.
Right. I say that about real estate, but I really think I would just dropped him a little bug about the Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
Because it was probably like less than a grand at that point.
Yeah, for
It was
sure.
cheap. But that
Yeah.
was I was 18 in 2006. I don't know what the price of it was then, but
Mhm.
I'm sure it was not nothing like 70 grand.
Yeah. What's one thing that you should change that you could change?
My spirituality. I'm not as spiritual as I should be. I have my beliefs, and not that I'm hard up on my beliefs. I'm always growing, and I'm always at a young age. I grew up in the church, grew up in church, and then as I got older, and started growing my mindset and stuff. Things got like really, what's that word? I'm looking for
Spirituality,
confusion.
faith. Okay.
Yeah, it got like really confusing because the Bible was really contradicting to me. Like
Hmm.
some things in
Hmm.
the Bible like really contradicted themselves, and I was like, it really don't make no sense. Like, and then I learned. I tell you what really did it for me though. I watched this interview and I looked for it. And I don't know where the hell I watched it on YouTube. And I don't know. I've typed it in. I can't find it. But it was a Catholic priest, a Baptist preacher, and a Methodist preacher, and they all read 10 scriptures, and all but three, so 7 out of the 10, they interpret it completely different. And then only three they kind of agreed on that they interpreted it the same way. So I'm like, who's right, who's wrong? Where the interpretation comes from? How do they know that's how God meant for that to be said? That's kind of where the confusion and contradiction came in for me at.
Hmm.
And then when I learned that the King James Bible was just nothing more than King James version of the books. So
Yeah.
it's like really another man's words. It started putting that in more. So then I was like, it's not that I don't believe in a higher, I believe that there's a higher being. There's something greater than us,
Hmm. Hmm.
100%. The Bible is an amazing book. It has really Proverbs. Like I really try to read. Like I said, at the beginning of the year, I'm gonna read a chapter a day, and I haven't done that, but I have read a lot of it. Proverbs is a great book. It has
They got 31 proverbs, which means you could read one each day, and you could go through each month and read them. And
yeah,
even when somebody's not spiritual and you read proverbs, proverb is one of the most valuable things you could ever read.
yes,
They teach lessons about integrity, about life, about investments,
everything.
about working hard.
Yeah, it's great stuff, man. Proverbs is a book, but that's one thing I wish I could change more of. I
Mhm.
should change more of, just because my kids do go to a Christian school, so I don't want to. I don't have those talks with them because it's not my place to direct them away from that.
Sure.
It's my place to support them in whatever they believe. So whatever they believe, I'll support you, and that's that. And I'll leave it at
Yeah.
that. I don't
And
sit there
and
and
and I and I don't know if this will help you or not, but there's a guy named Akiba, and he said each scripture has 70 faces inside the Bible. And I've read the Bible many times, and sometimes I'll read it, and I'm like, wait a second, when did Paul put this in here exactly for me? And it's like, as I develop, there's something I'm going through, and I read that, and I'm like, wait, that's me in the Bible, and it just kind of develops. So, man, I mean, it could change for you, and I mean, there might be a spot where the spirituality comes, and as we get older, you gotta trust in the Lord, because I know I can't do it by myself,
Oh, 100%.
Bubba.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. What's your greatest sense of accomplishment you feel so far?
Mm, building a company, man. Like I said, I come from a poverty life, man. So just even getting as far, even if everything crashed and burned today, just knowing that I built a company where we brought in close to 3 million in revenue in a single year. That is a huge accomplishment. It's not.
100%.
I'm nowhere close to where I want to be, but it's like, damn. Look where I started. Look where I got. Even like I said, everything crashed and burned today. That is a great accomplishment for me personally.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good thing, man. And you helping people out there, you helping the customers. You got guys working with you and for you, and you're able to provide them a good life for their family. I think that's
Yeah,
a good direction to go to. And like you said, if you're able to build this thing and get some nonprofits going, and you're able to help some people out, man, that's the end goal.
that is always the end goal. Is to keep helping folks. Like at the end of the day, my biggest thing I want to do is so I got to trying to hook a phone charger up.
Yeah,
Is create an avenue where I can help people become greater versions of themselves, and whatever that may be,
yeah,
whether it's a nonprofit or whatever it might be. So that's
yeah.
kind of one of the things I'm looking to do as well.
And that's like me. I got you on here talking with me, and the Lord put on my heart to talk to people, get people to tell their stories so they can inspire people by hearing other people's struggles, because everybody thinks they're deserted on an island and they're the only person that's done this, really, until you hear somebody's story and be like, that's me. Man, that dude could do it. And that's kind of why Lord put it on my heart to do this thing. And I'm terrible at it. I don't know how to interview people, but hopefully it develops and organically it gets better, and we could grow this thing. I really
And
appreciate you coming on here and helping me out with this. Telling
man,
your
you're
story and
great,
your
man.
struggles.
Yeah, you're great, man. Like you're a great interview, believe it or not. Because
Oh,
you're way better than the guy that talked about starting a podcast and never did it. Because he talked
hundred
himself
percent.
he
That's
talked himself out of he talked himself out of that same conversation. I'm not that good of an interviewer. Nobody's
right.
going to come on my podcast, and he never started. So just with you starting in general, you're light years ahead of that son of a bitch that never got started. So you're doing great. Like I started my podcast. We faded out, so we're looking to get that launching going back on. So
Get it going, baby.
definitely something that people like us, get inspired and push through. Being consistent and doing it day in and day out is what makes you great. Giving up or quitting is what kind of makes you not so great. So
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, man, because I need some encouragement from time to time, and we're gonna get through this thing together, Bubba. I promise you.
absolutely, brother. And that's what and that's what we're here for, man. Like guys like you, guys like me, to inspire. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I get the most pat on the backs, I guess you could say, from people that are not in my everyday network. People that I see on a daily basis, people that are supposed to support me. Like those people don't support. I get more support from guys like you that I met on a turnaround that believe in the mission that or the route that I'm taking. You get support from guys like me that believe in the route that you're taking because I understand the route. People that
Yeah,
don't understand the route, it's hard for them to support it.
man, the
And that
struggle
just
the struggle is real, man. And whenever you down there in the
absolutely, brother.
trenches with us, like we out there working a turnaround. I think we was on nights at the time. We out there in the dark, cold steel everywhere, banging your shoulders against stuff, and it's like,
Yeah,
these are my people, bro.
yeah. It
Hey, I hope this dude's got a funny story. And whenever I met you, we out there telling jokes, cutting up, getting a
yeah.
crazy ass job done.
And then that's and that I was actually talked to Oli, which was the guy I was working with out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was talking to Oli because me and him still good buddies and we stay connected. And I said, man, I sent him a picture from our office in at a marathon, and he said, "Damn, I miss working in turnarounds in the plant sometimes." I said, "Me too, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though. Not often.
No,
Sometimes I miss it."
dude, it's some of the funnest times in your life and everything. But like we said, we can't do that. We forever. We can't be sitting there in a tool room at 80 years old. This ain't gonna work.
No, you got to set yourself up for retirement, man, because
Yeah.
if not, you'll waste your years away. Here's one thing that I have a problem with, and I think it's a fucked up system we live in,
Hmm.
is most people start their adult life at the age of 18 and they work up until retirement age of was 67. That's almost
Yeah.
50 years of their life that
Hmm.
they work. You know what the average age of death is?
70 something.
78. So you
Yeah.
get 11 good years.
But are they good?
No, you're not. You're broken and beaten up for working the previous
Right.
50. So
Absolutely. You kill
you work
yourself working to retirement and then you die.
and then you die. And it's crazy.
Sure.
There's a saying one of my mentors told me. He said most men die at the age of 25. They end up not getting buried to the age of, of 68 or whatever. Essentially what it
That's
is
good right there.
like most people quit living and learning, in their mid 20s. And then they just coast through life of this everyday rigmarole of doing the same shit, the same repetitive shit every day. They work their 9 to 5, they get their 2 week vacation,
Hmm.
and then boom, they die.
You
And
ever heard
they
of
didn't
you ever
live.
heard Earl Nightingale?
Uh-uh.
Think he might have been the one who said that originally. He
Really?
said, yeah, he said that, most men, they start out and all of them have a goal and all of them have a vision. And you got 10 guys that start out together and they all have this vision, and 18 years old, they primed up just like we were, oh, I got this. I could do it. Everything. And by the time of it, only one of them's going to make it out of those 10. And the rest of them, they just take a good job in a good spot and they go home to their house and they sit on their couch and they watch their TV, and they kick their feet up and they say they're tired just because somebody told them that's what they should do. And like we said, they just die. But there's going to be one person out of that 10 that's going to be driven, and he's actually going to make it. They all had the same start. They all had the same opportunity, but there's something in that one person's mind that said, that's not enough. I'm going to do this. And it's kind of like the story that you're sitting there telling, that mindset.
100%, man. I will literally sell everything I own just to keep moving forward. I'm programmed like that now. It would be hard for me to go work for another person right now. I'm programmed to be driven, self-driven. I'm all in at this point. So it's like if it comes down to it, I will sell everything and my dog to keep moving forward. Even if it's just an inch today, an inch tomorrow. Eventually, I'm going to hit that mile marker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta have that type of mindset to keep pushing, man. Because some days are hard as hell. Some days, man, are just you're like, why do I do this? It would be easier to work for somebody else, or I would probably make more money if I worked for somebody else. But
Sure.
then it's like there's no purpose behind that for me. There's nothing that drives me to do that. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm a you. You got to eat shit before you can eat caviar. So.
Dang, okay. I got that. Got a great recipe for turning chicken shit into chicken salad, huh?
I've done it several times. People ask
Hey,
me like, "How do you keep doing it?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just figure out a way." I get resourceful. People don't get resourceful enough. If
sure.
it's not handed to them on the golden platter, they shut down. You got to get resourceful. I'm getting resourceful right now. We had a previous conversation before we got on.
Mm,
Kind of we're in a deficit right now because of a bad partnership, a bad business deal that was self-inflicted by myself. Well, I got to dig myself out of that hole, right? So I got to
right.
just keep moving forward to get out of it. Because if I don't ever move forward, if I don't ever get resourceful to keep moving forward, we'll be just a sinking ship. We'll be just another company that didn't make it.
Yeah.
And I'm not okay with that. Just like when I was in the QC department, if the QC department failed or we didn't stay on top of our shit, if I was the manager, the night shift, day shift manager, then it fell on my shoulders. I felt like I had failed the company, or I'd failed the QC department.
Right.
That followed up, fell. So I'm like that with my company now, man. So
That's good.
it's
Fall down seven, get up 8 times, man.
you got to, man, because the
Yeah.
moment you don't get up is the day you quit. And I feel like quitting and not achieving things, or quitting or giving up, or not doing things that you're going to regret on your deathbed would be the worst way to die. That
Yeah.
has to be the worst way to die. If you're sitting on your deathbed, thinking back on your life, like, damn,
Hmm.
I regret not doing this. I regret not doing that. And then you got to die with that regret, bro. That's got to be fucking terrible. And I don't want to
Well,
be that guy.
they said there's a guy, and his name was Miles Monroe, and he was a pastor. He was from the islands out there in St. Croix or somewhere it was. And he said, you know what the richest place in the world is? The graveyard. And he said, you walk by there, and there's so many people in there where their vision and their dream died with them. And there's another guy, Les Brown. He says, you know what? He says, whenever you on your deathbed, he said, the people they're going to come to you, and those spirits of those people are going to come to you and be like, we came to you with this vision and this dream. and you letting it die with you. So
Yeah.
we don't want to
And
let
I
that
tell
vision
you,
die.
Ed Milet says he's a guy that I follow. He's a guy that I influenced a lot in my life.
Mm-hmm.
His podcast, his name's Ed Milet. He said that when you die, he feels like God's going to have a perfect version of you. If you were to capitalize and live life
Mm,
like he had planned you to live it, he said, then when you die, if you're standing beside that person, will it match up to the person that died? Because
right.
it's typically it won't. A
Yeah.
lot of us
The
won't.
person that took the chances, that got out there and worked out every day, the person that ate healthy, the person who did everything he said he was going to do, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it will not line up with that person that you should have been. Now, I'm not saying not everybody's an entrepreneur, not everybody has that in them,
No.
but everybody has the ability to do more.
Mm,
The world needs burger flippers too. So,
absolutely.
but everybody has the ability. If you're going to be a burger flipper, be the best fucking burger flipper McDonald's
Absolutely.
has.
That's right.
You always have the opportunity to do more and not coast.
Yeah.
And that's mainly the main thing that people should embody in life is do your best at whatever out of whatever it is. Just give 100%.
I like it, man. What's the end goal for uh Bubba and for your business?
So
What's the end goal?
businessman, I'm looking to grow, a minimum of a $10 million company. And then, if we get to a point where it's time to exit, if a bigger company wants to come in, I'm not attached to this thing. I'm not, if it's my time to exit, it's my time to exit. I can put my resources elsewhere and build it. But once you build something to that stage, you can do it again. You already know all the hiccups you come through, so you can just do it again, right?
Sure.
But my end goal, man, is I want to influence other business owners, build something tangible, the company. Once you build something tangible, you can bleed that knowledge to someone else, kind of help them avoid the hiccups that you had to go through on your journey. And to me, that is the end goal, is to be a business consultant at some point. Once all this is either making money on its own or we exit, um, that way I can help other young entrepreneurs, other blue collar workers get out of the rat race, work less, make more, spend more time with their loved ones. Ultimately, the goal.
That's a good heart, man. Lord put a good calling on your life, good heart for you, man. It's good stuff. But appreciate you coming on here today. Shout out to you, Bubba, for coming on, bro. Shameless plug time. Tell people how to find you, support you on your journey. If you got anybody who's sponsoring you or you're sponsoring, shout out to you.
Yeah, so if you can find me on any platform, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if you just hashtag 601 Roofing King. I think that's most of my tags across all platforms is 601 Roofing King. But if you just type in the hashtag 601 Roofing King, it should pull up some of my videos or some of my posts or something of that nation. You can find my pages from that. No sponsors yet. I'm looking for some though.
Yeah, why not?
Some Yeah, I'm looking for some sponsors. Actually looking to raise some money to actually start a roof for vets, to kind of put roofs on veterans' houses that really are like in a impoverished state that we could go in and help them. They fought for our country, so we might as well fight for them. It would be posted on Facebook. Inside the Blue Collar Alliance, you can go to Blue Collar Alliance on Facebook. There's a couple of them on there, but it's one that's got like it's about around 2,500 followers in it. So you can go to the Blue Collar Alliance there to be posted in there once we get it all put together.
Hey, dream big, start small, begin now, baby. Some of the
That's
biggest
right.
business in the world, just like Amazon. Freaking Jeff Bezos started out in his basement with a with a little desk. You know what I mean? And he standing on the shoulders of giants, baby. Good
Every
deal.
black belt was once a white belt, so
That's right, 100%, man. And that's the struggle is real.
struggle is real.
Well, good enough, Bubba. I appreciate you coming on here today, helping brother out. HBO, help brother out. But
That's it. I like that.
yeah, 100%. If you've enjoyed this podcast with me and Bubba, man, I hope you guys find something interesting in this thing, something inspirational. If you did, like it, share it, tell a friend about it. High Calling Podcast, trying to inspire people. Thank you. Peace out. Love y'all.